It's Lori Cooch, and today I want to go over the Love Blossoms Workshop Card Kit from Close to My Heart. And if you're not familiar with it, it's our special right now, and you get to make 12 cards for each of these 3 designs. I don't know if you can see that, but you can also print out the instructions online. They're right there on the website, and I will put links to all of this below the video. But I want to show you what it comes with. I've already pre-cut the paper, but it comes with all your cardstock that you're going to need. It comes with the stamp set, or if you want to buy just the stamp set without the card kit, you can. Or if you already have the whole kit and you want to just make more of the cards, you can buy that as well without having to buy the stamp set again. So it comes with that. It comes with your card bases and envelopes, and then your embellishing thread. And then it also comes with these little, aren't these cute? These little sample size of our inks. So if you don't have the ink colors that they used, it comes right in the kit already. So you get a Thistle, a New England Ivy, a Pixie, and a Charcoal. So these are like perfect little sample sizes. If you don't have them and you don't know if you want to buy the full pad, those come right in the kit for you. And they're great for travel if you want to take them to a crop or something too. So we are going to make one change with the cards that we're making today versus the ones listed here, because one of the things it calls for is the Swiss Dot embossing folder. This kit has been so popular that Swiss Dot embossing folder is sold out. So I didn't want to show you something that you couldn't buy. So instead of the Swiss Dot, we're going to use the Playful Chevron. Is that what they're called? It's not a chevron. Playful Scallops, sorry. So we're going to use that one instead, and it looks just as cute. It just adds the dimension that you want to the background there. But if you have the Swiss Dot, by all means, go ahead and use it. So I've already pre-cut everything, and one of the cool things with the Close to My Heart cutting guides is it shows you how to cut them. So like this, and it shows you, because remember our cardstock is double-sided in colors. There's a lighter and a dark side. So it shows you the dark and the light, and then it tells you, you know, for this is on the charcoal, to cut this one at 4.5 by 3/4. So you're going to cut 3 of those, and it gives you the measurements for everything you need to cut. So we're already through that point. And for whatever reason, my printer printed this small. It was probably a setting on my PDF, and I just didn't change it or reprint it. So yours would print on the full page if you wanted to print this out, unless of course your printer is set up like mine. So on the card base, it says, we're going to just make the first one here. Fold on the top, so we did. And it's telling us to use the Charcoal ink, the New England Ivy, and the Pixie. So that's the 3 we're going to use here. And then it says tips. They give us tips. Use charcoal ink to stamp the bouquet outline and sentiment. Begin by stamping the left side of the bouquet first, close enough to the edge so there is room for the other half on the other side. Add color to the flowers by stamping with shade with Pixie ink, and using second generation stamping technique for the large flower on the right. Paint leaves with New England Ivy using stamp pad painting technique. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but we're just going to go with it. Oh, you know what? I have a brush. It's the water. Okay, I'm with it now. For the second generation stamping, ink the stamp in Pixie and stamp it on scratch piece paper. So we're just going to take these one step at a time because that's a lot to get. So we're going to get our stamps out, and we're going to see, there's 2 stamps on here, or 2 flowers. Which one are they wanting us to use first? We're going to use them both. So let's take them off, and trying to see which one looks. I don't think it's that one. So our stamp set has our flowers, and then we have a second stamp with the sentiments on it. So in looking at this, it looks like this one is the one I want on the left, and I didn't grab my large block, so let me grab that. And of course it's buried under all the things I have going on. Oh, you're gonna hear my dogs barking. I don't know why. Because there's somebody in my driveway. Mailman's in my driveway. Okay. Thought I had everything I needed, but I didn't. So on these large stamps, get rid of this here. It's easy to get them on your block solid by putting them face side down on this little foam cushy pad that comes with your stamps, and then lay your block on top of it and push down. You want to have a good, you don't want air bubbles under here is the word I'm trying to get to, because then your stamp's not going to stamp smooth and you'll get light and dark spots. So first off, we're going to stamp this. Looks like we're going to stamp it this way. Kind of. Yeah, like this. So we're going to ink it up in the charcoal and use to pop the lid off of that. And because it's a large stamp, put your stamp down. Oh, and I've missed a spot to tell you something. So this is a brand new stamp. So to season it, just kind of stamp it on your arm. That'll help give a good stamp too. So then you take your stamp pad and stamp onto the stamp instead of doing it this way. It's just easier with the smaller block on the larger stamp. So just stamp up your pad, or your ink up your stamp. I need more coffee, guys. Make sure you get good coverage everywhere. Okay, oh, I think I missed the spot right there. And then we're going to just stamp it onto our card. Trying to see how they did it. Like that. Okay, so it said to stay to the left, so we're going to stay to the left. Just press down, and voila. Then it says to stamp the other one. So I'm going to take this one off. I'll come back and clean all these when we're done with our Spritz stamp cleaner. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it face down and then put the block on top of it. I'm going to stamp it onto my skin. And ink it up. These stamps are so pretty. There's so much detail in them. And of course, if you have the larger stamp pads, absolutely go ahead and use those. They're a little faster to cover your stamp with, but since these are here, that's what I'm going to just use because they came in the kit. Okay, think I have it done. Well, maybe. More is better, right? And then this one we're gonna stamp this way. Lining up. Ooh. This is why I don't like to fold my cards just yet. Now my leaf went off the edge a little here. It's okay. Isn't that pretty? And then it says to stamp our sentiment. I didn't leave enough room up here, which is where they show it. So I am going to find the one that says love you. Right here. It's 2. I'm going to put mine down here. So I'm going to line it up. Hope my head's not getting in the way here. I'm going to set mine off a little bit, so you can make them your design. You don't have to follow it identical to what they show. Okay, I'm gonna stamp it. I'm gonna ink this up. Sorry, I got a phone call. And then I am going to put my love you, whoops, right, I got ink on my block. So I'm clearing that off because I don't want it on my card. I'm going to put love you down here, and mine is not straight, but I like the little off-centered look. Gives it a more homemade feel to it. Okay. Then next it says, add color to the flowers by stamping shade with Pixie ink. Use second generation stamping technique for the large flower on the right. Okay, so our shade that they're talking about are these pieces of the stamp set here. These are our shade in ones. I'm going to move this out from under. You don't want things under your stamp while you're trying to stamp. So I think this one is, you just have to line them up to see how they fit. Maybe that's this one. And I am not the best at lining these up. So don't feel like you're screwing up or you're not great because it took you longer. It's okay, it takes all of us longer. So based on the shape of the center here, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this one goes like so. All right. And see, I did that way, and I have air bubbles in there, so it's not going to give me a nice clean stamp, so I have to work those out. I don't know if you can see them, but I can sure see them. So you just kind of work them out so you get a nice even stamp. And then we're going to ink it up with the Pixie. Stamp it on my hand. We're just going to cover it in Pixie. Now remember, this is going to be just a shade. It's just light. And we're going to stamp it on here like so. Voila! And then it says to use second generation stamping for the one on the right. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you what that is. It gives it a lighter color I'm going to stick this one on the block the correct way, so there's no air bubbles. Now, second generation stamping is you need a piece of scratch paper. So this is an extra piece of our white cardstock. Stamp it on my hand, and I'm going to move the card off to the side while I do this. And then I'm going to ink up the shadow on this one. Now, second generation stamping is you just stamp it on a piece of scratch paper first, so you get off a lot of it, and then you come to your project. There's still ink on your stamp, and stamp it on your project, and it will give it a lighter look. See that? And I went over, it's okay. This is all part of the little shadowy effect that it will have. Then it says to add color to flowers by stamping shade with Pixie oh, I already did that. Use second generation stamping. Paint leaves with New England ivy using stamp pad painting technique. So, in the instructions of other items you're gonna need, it says you need a water brush round number Z3224. So, I'm gonna grab my water brush, and then I'm going to wet the end a little bit, and I'm gonna take the New England ivy, and I'm gonna just ink up my brush with the stamp pad, and then you're gonna just paint it on to your leaves. So you're gonna get that watercolor effect. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go put some water in my brush. I didn't have that. Okay, I'm back. I just put some water in my brush. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but now I can spread this out a little bit better and give it that watercolor effect. Yeah, the rest of these leaves are gonna look a whole lot better. So you can make them as light or as dark as you want. Just by adding more of the ink to your brush. And another way you could do this is if you have the New England Ivy re-inker, you can just put a drop or two into the cap of your ink pad and use that to ink up your brush. And you don't want to squeeze, because then you're going to get a lot of water. And you know, I didn't stamp those little flowers, so we'll come back and do those after we do the leaves, since we already have our water brush. Oh, there's some here. You kind of want to stay away from the charcoal lines because those will smear. So you don't want to like go over them. You want to just kind of go with the flow of the stamp on how it's laid out. Like I don't want to go this way on here because then I'll smear that, like I did there, that charcoal color ink into your green. We're learning together, guys. I like this because you get different variations of green, like different darknesses and hues, and that's no leaf is exactly the same the whole way through. But the water allows for you to kind of smear it around. And even it out. Now our inks, these exclusive inks, these are a water-based ink. The pigment inks are an oil-based. So the water-based are going to absorb into your card or your scrapbook page or anything like that, and they dry pretty quickly because they absorb in. The pigment inks, if you're using those, since those are oil-based, they're gonna sit on top of whatever you're putting them on, and those will take longer to dry, so you'll want to give them those time to dry. Now these are the water-based ones that come in the kit, so that's why we can use them with our water pencils. And I'm just trying to get a little darker green on this one. This isn't a pencil. You could use watercolor pencils on this instead of the paint. It's not paint, it's ink, but you're using a paint brush. So I'm going to come over here to my scratch paper and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of water through here. I don't want to do it on my card because I don't want it to smear everything. So I'm going to just stick some water on there and smear that paint, ink. I keep calling it paint. And that gives it the water kind of pastel-y look. And I think we have one more right here. Okay, now we're going to come back and put the cap on this and do these other shadows that I didn't pay any attention to. Put the lid on our New England Ivy. Come back to the Pixie. And this one, I believe, is that one. It goes like that. And remember, on the right side, it said to stamp it off. So I'm going to stamp that on our scratch piece. And then I'm going to come back and put it on our flower. And then we have another flower. And that's this one. Stamp it on the scratch paste and put it on our flower. So this gives this bank of flowers a really soft pixie look. And this one over here is going to be bolder because we're not stamping it off. Let's see how that's going to go. I think like that. Just going to stamp that right onto the pad because it's small. Okay, so now the next step in our instructions. Prepare piece shown above, attach 1/8 to card base. Oh. Okay, so it's not having us color in any of these, but because we pre-cut everything, it's having us add this piece that we pre-cut down here to the bottom, but I stamped there, so I'm not going to add it, or I might add it at the top and cover my little flower up a little bit. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just take my tape runner, and it's going to be wider than my piece of cardstock, and that's okay. It'll stick to my mat. And I'm going to just stick it up here at the top. And that's one of the flowers, or one of the cards. Now the next one, so you'll make 3 of those. The next one uses the embossing folder. So I'm gonna do one of those and show you how easy that is. So first it tells us to use our Carolina paper. We're gonna do one of these cards in each of the 3 colors, but we're gonna do this one in the Carolina. And now that Swiss Dot embossing folder, you can't see it, but it had a line where it only embossed the bottom and not the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to improvise that. So it takes the flowers, so we're going to ink it up again with the charcoal. And these are going to be just uncolored flowers on your card. They're just going to be a silhouette of them. Silhouette, is that the right word? I don't know, you guys. I need more coffee. And we're going to actually stamp off a little bit. So we're going to not put our whole image on here. Just like, we're going to go like this. And then I'm going to pick up the other one. If I can find it under my mess. Oh, it's right there, you guys. And I'm going to put it on here. I've got my block upside down. Now I've got my stamp upside down. And we're going to ink it up. And again, we're going to stamp off of it. So we're not covering the whole stamp onto the card. I'm just trying to line it up here with this one without going over. So see, what I'm talking about is this part is hanging off of our paper. That's okay, because we're still getting that really pretty stamped image on our piece of paper. Then what we're going to do, since we're using the Playful Scallops instead of the Swiss, you guys help me, the Swiss dot, because we don't have that one, which I do, but again, I didn't want to show it to you when you couldn't purchase it. And you're just gonna put it in there about half, because you don't want to emboss all of this. You can use a Big Shot, you can use a Cricut. I'm gonna use my Cuttlebug because that's what's just right here. But a Big Shot would work just as well. And then what you do is, so there's a couple ways you can do this. Like, see, I've stuck it in this way. You could put the whole thing in and then only put it on your mat where you want it to emboss at. To me, it's easier to just line it up this way, because then I don't have to worry about it. And then put your shim piece in and run it through your machine. I don't know that I had my shim thick enough. Let's see. Oh, I did. So now we have this really fun embossed image on our paper. Get this out of the way. And that's going to go on our card front. But I'm not ready to stick it on there just yet, but that's how that's going to go. And then the next thing it's telling us to do is to take one of these pre-cut pieces of white cardstock, and we're going to cut it into like a little banner at the end. So the easiest way to do that is eyeball your center and then make a cut and then cut diagonally to it. Okay, so then we have our little, I don't know what that's called, our banner-ish edge. And then this one is having a stamp, thank you. You can stamp whatever you want. I need to find my stamp with the sentiments on it. There they are. So there's thank you, fabulous, thankful, my heart, loved. I'm going to go ahead and do the thank you because I send a lot of thank you cards to people. And I'm going to go ahead and use my long block for this one. And we're going to ink that also in charcoal. This is what they mean when they say, let's get inky, because I get ink all over me. Oh, hi, kitty. We're going to stamp the thank you on there. This cat should know that as soon as she starts crying, the dog's going to come in here and chase her. Very pretty thank you. And then, somewhere in my mess is the embossing floss I showed you earlier. It was here. I had seen it. You seen it. Oh, there it is. So it's called embossing thread. And we're just going to take some off. Oh, embellishing thread. Why am I calling it embossing? And I'm going to just kind of make circles of different sizes around my fingers with it. Doesn't have to be very neat. You don't need it to be. And then I'm going to just stick some adhesive on the back for it to stick to. And I'm going to just stick it down. Kind of spread it out a little bit so that it's going to stick out behind my card front. And I'm putting extra on here because I want these little loose ends to not pop out the bottom. Maybe you want yours to pop out the bottom. I don't. Okay, now I'm going to put more adhesive so it'll stick to my card front. And we're going to just stick it down. See this little, isn't that cute? Then it says to take one of our pieces here. We're going to stick that right underneath there. So there's that. Then we're going to just stick it to the card front. There you go. There's a really cute thank you card. Now, I believe on the back, there's a stamp here that says made with lots of love. And I'm gonna, my cat is causing havoc. I'm gonna stamp that on the back of my card. If I can find, and I'm just leaving that stamp on there because I need to clean it, but I can still stamp this one. And another thing that I did was, remember when we were stamping off to get those flowers off of the thing? I set my card in it, so I have ink on the back of my card. It's the back, it's okay. I'll probably still use it, but just something to think about. And then I'm gonna stamp made with lots of love on here. So that's on the back of my card now. And is there anything I want to put on the envelope? So these say, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. My heart breaks with you at this, oh, my heart breaks with you at this difficult time. Lucky as you are, may your day be as fabulous. Thankful for all you do. You are so you can make any combination of these. I'm just going to put, I think, I appreciate you more than you know. No, for all you do. I'm going to stamp that on my envelope so that when I mail it, that's on the front for them. So I'll use this one. What is on my stamp? So we'll just turn it over and use the smooth side. Ruined that envelope. Good thing I have extras. And then I'm going to put that just right here on the front. So there you go. This is a fun little tutorial of the Love Blossom card kit, and this is a special. It ends in March, so you'll want to get this ordered before the end of March, and then you can make them all too. Now remember, it does not come with an embossing folder, so if you do not have the Swiss dot embossing folder, you'll want to use a different one. I used the Playful Scallops, and that is in our catalog as well, and is currently available, but the popularity of these kits, it might sell out too, I don't really know. So there you go, there you have it. There's the 2 cards that we just did. It does make 3, but for the sake of time, you guys are probably bored of listening to me. I only did the 2. So there's that one. And then of course this thank you, which I just love. I love the look of that. So thanks for watching. Links to everything are going to be right below this video. And of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, oh, I need more coffee. You guys can just message me right here on YouTube or in my Facebook groups, which is Lori Cooch, Independent Close to My Heart Consultant. And I'll get right back to you. I will respond as soon as I see your message and I'm able to. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.